Everybody, it is World Autism Awareness Day today. Happy World Autism Awareness Day! Woo! Yep, can hear you guys cheering as well. Well, I'm really excited. So today, in conjunction with World Autism Awareness Day on the 2nd of April, we really just wanted to take a moment to celebrate all individuals with autism today. I just want to thank you all for joining in and tuning in to EAP Malaysia's live on Instagram. This is our first time ever doing it and going live. And what better day, what better time to do it than on World Autism Awareness Day, right? So before I go on to just quickly introduce myself, my name is Sarah. I am actually one of the senior supervisors on team at EAP Malaysia. I will be hosting this Instagram live today, and I'm gonna get our EAP director Jochebed to join us on the call. So maybe if we can get, I'm just gonna get Jo to join us in a bit. Just one moment, and she should be joining in soon. Okay, while we wait and get Jo to join, let me just quickly add. There we go. Hello everybody who just joined. Hi, good morning. It is World Autism Awareness Day. Yay! And we have Jochebed here, our EAP director. Everyone show some love, comment. Thank you guys for the love and feedback. Great. Okay. So, welcome, Jo, to, our first ever EAP Malaysia Instagram Live. How exciting.
Yeah.
And today, in conjunction with World Autism Awareness Day, we have some really exciting announcements that we cannot wait to reveal to everyone, right?
Yeah.
So then maybe first things first, before we go into all the super exciting announcements, if Jo, maybe you can share with us, why is it that today is so special, and really what is the significance behind this day?
Thanks so much, Sarah, and good morning, everyone, depending on where you're tuning in from. Hi, Moon, I see you there. Moon's part of the amazing PDK team in Putrajaya that our supervisor, Yu Chen, goes in to help support. Wow, we're seeing lots of people join us. Thanks so much, guys, for supporting this and for coming in. Just a funny story, I guess, before we start is this morning, last night, Sarah Wu actually asked me, do I know how to get onto Insta Live?
No.
I think that's a fair question, Sarah. Granted the age gap, we have slight age gap. So of course, yes, that's a fair question. And thankfully I do know, but I did text you to say it's a bit harder to organize because the iPad keeps like falling over. And so that was the part that I don't know how to manage that and manage my notes. But anyway.
Okay, it's our first time.
Yeah,
you're doing well so far.
Where let's just say that Sarah is like high tech and I am like low tech, so that's the slight generational difference here. But so back to your question, why is World Autism Day important? I think every time there is a day dedicated to a certain cause, it is really just for that day for us all to just pause for a minute and actually like look into that diagnosis, look into that cause, celebrate it. And really, I feel to have a World Autism Day dedicated to the cause of autism, to the diagnosis of autism, is really to firstly celebrate people on the spectrum. So it's not to discriminate in any way, but it's to really celebrate the fact that, hey, there is a whole community of people that have autism, and we want to acknowledge that, we want to celebrate them, we want to honor them. And then with increased awareness, so even right now, like tons of our team have been posting. Hi, Phoebe, I see you there. Tons of our team have been posting, and like all their friends, family, we're getting posts and reposts of parents sharing. My own daughter, who's 5 years old and who has celebrated World Autism Day with us every year, woke up in the morning saying, it's World Autism Day, where's my t-shirt? So it's like a celebration in our home. The reason for this is with the increased awareness, that automatically increases, well, not automatically, but hopefully increase acceptance. And really, with something like autism, as a mom myself, there is there can be a slight stigma when it comes to having a child that has some differences, and so then sometimes families may be nervous to actually seek support or to seek help. They don't want to be discriminated. Many families that we work with are scared to tell schools that their child has a little bit of autism, because what if the school says no, or what if other parents don't accept them? So we really hope that with increased awareness on autism, people will be accepting of it, so that the families who actually have children with autism will feel supported and will feel like that they can live a normal life as well. And then secondly, I think for the community, like in our worlds, like my world and your world, Sarah, people know what is autism now. People talk about autism. It's like the funniest thing I've heard last year, I think, is one of our partners actually said autism is like trending, it's like viral. And I was like, wow, I've never heard that associated with autism, because for so many parents it's so challenging, it's life altering. But to have it be something that's cool to work with kids with autism, we have so many buddies with autism that we love and we honor. So with that also is increasing really like acceptance in our own worlds. Like I want to be someone that's accepting of a child and their family with autism. In schools, in the shopping malls, when we're allowed to go back to shopping malls, like actually like people to, if a child is having a tantrum in the mall, if I know what's autism, I could just, say, let's help them, or let's just don't like stare, don't like make a video of it, just like move on, offer support. But it just makes us all more accepting. And I think the biggest thing, Sarah, for us, I feel, is that just because we don't have a child with autism ourselves, or just because my family, I don't have anyone in my family, it doesn't mean that I shouldn't care about it. It's the thing in this situation with COVID-19, it is our community social responsibility to support and to keep each other safe and to keep each other healthy. And in the same way, when it comes to kids, whether they have autism, whether they have cerebral palsy, Down syndrome, it could be my kid. I want to make sure that I'm treating them the way I would want someone to treat my own kid. And I think that's the biggest message for any kind of day, but particularly for us today, for World Autism Day.
So good, Jo. And I think just a shout out to all the people who are tuning in right now, to our Instagram live. You are the community, and you are going to be the ones today to help us, advocate for the awareness of autism. I just want to thank you so much again. And today is going to be the day that we are going to go all out, with our efforts to really increase that awareness on autism and the acceptance. I think not just locally within Malaysia, because we are in Malaysia, but I think, with technology nowadays, I think the awareness can really spread to the different ends of the earth. And there could be a global awareness and acceptance of autism as well, that, one day we will get there. So I think, Georgia, you mentioned briefly about COVID-19. So with this whole situation of COVID-19, just to maybe give everybody who's tuning in an update, here in Malaysia, we currently have what we call the movement control order, or some people call it the restricted movement order, where basically we are all mandated to stay home, until the 14th of April. And most of us are working from home during this period. And so with that, Jo, maybe if you could let us know, how has that impacted our EAP's efforts in raising awareness this year then?
Thanks, Sarah. Like we've said at our team a few times already, like in comparison to what so many other people are going through, really what we're facing is really very minor. And I think the biggest impact the whole COVID-19 really has is on our families that we work with and the kids that we work with, because of the restricted movement order and because of movement control order, which is definitely, I suppose, necessary with the contagiousness of this sickness and the fact that not everyone will be socially responsible. I think that the government has had to make the choices that they have to protect the people of our country and of our nation. And so I think our heart, though, is really with the families that we're not able to support and to be there. Obviously, with something like this, many of our children may struggle setbacks in their progression, because it's going to be almost 4 weeks that they won't have services. But I think what has been incredible is seeing the parents, seeing the nannies. We're providing online support to really try to help provide some structure in the homes. I know when we got the 24-hour notice that we're going to go into like so-called lockdown, our team like worked like crazy to get boxes of work ready. And then all the supervisors are providing online support. And for some of our kids, the online support is working really well. So some of our children are doing online therapy, which is great. But in reality, we are a one-to-one. The nature of our kids' needs require us to be there physically one-to-one to help them. So I think that's been the biggest impact. The biggest impact COVID-19 is having in the field of autism is definitely on the provision of therapy. And I know that there is, there has been an announcement that therapy can continue, but of course, with the increased, I think, increased concern with COVID-19, that itself becomes the number one priority. Health and safety becomes the number one priority, be it for our clients, be it for our kids, be it for their families. Many of our kids have got grandparents living in their homes. So we want to make sure that they are safe. We want to make sure our staff and team are safe as well. So on the work front, on the EAP therapy front, we're trying to just be as socially responsible as we can be, and really to prioritize their health and safety above everything else. And we really hope that once this has settled, that we as a team will be able to really help our kids catch up and really catch up on that lost time, and really hope for really like a miracle that they will just not regress, but actually progress faster. So that's really what we're believing for, and we're going to do our best on that front. The Autism Campaigns, obviously every year since 2016 in particular, we've had these amazing school campaigns where our team goes into about 20 over schools and speaks to 6,000 to 9,000 students on being kind to others, loving someone with autism. And that obviously has had the biggest impact because schools have shut down, and even if they were open, we had to cancel all of our programs. So really the online solution is the biggest one. We have this amazing video that I know you'll talk about later, which is featuring one of our own kids talking to other kids about how to be kind to others. And you can see some of his quirks in the video. You can see his cute antics and the way he kind of goes on a little bit. But he is so amazing. But he too has faced some level of bullying. And so that's really, with our school campaigns, we really hope that even though we're not there in the schools, we really hope that we can still, really share with parents, with kids to be kind to others. I think the other impact has been on all of our presentations and trainings. Every year we do, through our nonprofit, we provide a lot of pro bono training. So we support nonprofit centers. One of our team, Yuchen, on the whole project was supposed to start 5 centers, training of 5 PDKs in Malaysia, because that was very successful in the Putrajaya Center last year. And this year, actually, on Saturday, we were going to do an outreach. So was going to go to 5 different centers, non-profit centers, and actually go and work with their kids, bring joy, bring hope, show the teachers there how to use reinforcement, how to engage the kids. And so that's also had to be canceled. And we also do a few external events as well, like in the malls. We do some, just public events. Like we do tons of it in April. April's our busiest month to share about Autism Awareness, which is, we feel our responsibility being EAP. But unfortunately, this year, all of that had to be canceled. But it gives us more time to share online, definitely. So we do what we can do.
So with all our efforts going online, Joe, would you like to share with everyone what are we doing this year for World Autism Month?
Yeah, for sure. Hey, a little shout out there to Joanne. We miss you. She used to be in our team. I can see you there, Hazel. Hey. Thanks so much for your support joining us today. Fazliza, lots of our team. Sharon, thanks so much, guys. So yeah, so for this year, we do have our usual, like we have our merchandise.
Mm-hmm.
So I've got the new merchandise T-shirt, which I know
Great.
Sarah, you have
Looking
as
good.
well. But of course, with it, you know, with the whole like lockdown and all that, we couldn't get the T-shirts out in time and all of that. So, but we do have merchandise that people can still order and purchase.
Online.
Yeah, online. That's
Yeah.
right. Thankfully, the delivery services, Lala Move, Grab, all are still working. So you could definitely still purchase merchandise. All the profits from the merchandise actually go back to the Hope Project. And
Yeah.
that funds a lot of our campaigns. It funds more so our resource production, I would say. So that's our merchandise. We also have our social media campaign. So
Yeah.
we've been much more intentional this year. We have different series. So today our team, Lee and the media team, all our team multitask. So our whole team are actually like clinical by day, and by lunchtime they're doing all these other things like media, translations, and really being amazing advocates for autism. So this week's today, is the awareness series. So that goes out today on social media. Next week we're going to do myths and facts so that we can clarify a few details about autism. And then the following week we're going to release resources. So there's tons on social media that hopefully will be beneficial to bring some truth about autism, but also hopefully help a few people who need some tips and so on. That's social media. This year something exciting is we actually got someone who's so kind and generous, gave us a billboard time on their billboards, on 5 billboards. So the only thing is, because of the lockdown, we're not supposed to go anywhere, so we haven't been able to actually see it. But the billboards actually feature some of our amazing kids, key facts about autism. So they're supposed to be in 5 locations. Sarah, do you remember the locations again?
Yeah, I do actually. 3 of them are along the LDP highway. So one of it is near TTDI. Another one is the billboard near Sri Pentas. The other one is the billboard near Sunway Mentari. Then there's 2 more. So one is at one of the major intersections at Bukit Bintang, and another one at one of the major intersections at Sri Hartama. So there's 5 in total by Unilink.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Link, and thank you so much the generosity of Teng Yong and his family. And so we just really want to thank you for that, and really hope that that provides, just increases the awareness of autism again to the whole public and to people who may not have even heard of it before. So that's the next thing that we've done. Then, of course, I just briefly mentioned the video. We've got, every year we try to produce a special video. It's sort of like our campaign video. It's our hashtag Love Someone with Autism video. And in the past, we featured like our own teachers. We featured a peer volunteer, Ziki, a few years ago. Then 2 years ago, we featured about 8 or 9 kids on the spectrum in our video. And then this year we wanted to feature one particular child, which his name is Titan. He's actually like, we're so proud of him. And obviously we have permission from his family and media consent as well. That's why he could be a part of all these videos. But he's almost like a mini teacher, and he's like reminding all of us, to stay on green, to have good behavior. So we actually, our team, Sarah, Lee, and with the help of the video team and everybody, they created this video with his parents as well. And that's so exciting. It releases today at 10 o'clock. You do want to catch it and share it. He has got much milder autism now, but he went from being quite limited verbal skills to being able to talk fluently now. He creates songs about planets. There's just so much to celebrate about him. And he basically gives you quite a firm reminder on being kind to others and how being mean is really not good. So lots of our kids do get bullied. I'd really encourage you to share that video and to remind kids to be kind. And I think as adults, we should be kind as well.
Yeah.
And then last but not least, drum roll.
Drum roll.
On the tasty videos, Rie like hits herself for drum roll. But I need one hand to hold my iPad. The thing about EAP is we are an amazing world-class service, and we are very proud of what we do. And because of what we do, with the intensity of hours, with the ratio of teachers, with the levels of supervision, it being 1-to-1, we're able to see significant progress. And for you, Sarah, you've been with us like, 7 years? You've seen kids go from like non-verbal to verbal, like seen kids go to school. we see 50% of our kids catch up to be like a typical child. And that's really the potential of a child on the spectrum. But with that, unfortunately, is the high cost it comes with. And our country is not in a place yet, I think, to provide funding. We don't have insurance funders or state funding like they have in the US. Our type of ABA therapy, fully funded, good quality, is actually fully funded in many states. I think something like 40 states in the US. That may have changed, I'm not sure, with change of government. But essentially, the cost is extremely high. So while we are proud of the quality that we're able to produce and provide, we're also saddened by the fact that, of course, the number one criticism is that it is so expensive. And it is true that we've looked at the numbers repeatedly. We've tried to keep our fees actually consistent. We've never increased our fees. We've just tried to cut internally as much as we can. But there's just no way to reduce the fees unless we cut corners and we cut quality and we reduce the quality of what we're able to provide. So 10 years ago in 2010, I actually had this dream on my heart, and I started talking to my husband and saying, the only way we can do this is through videos. The only way is through technology, and the only way is really to just empower parents straight away online. But then, of course, you get caught up with the operation side of things, the human resources, the work that we actually need to do, the clinical input. And a lot of our attention was really put on strengthening our kids programs, making sure everything was going really strong. Then we launched our nonprofit organization. And finally, last year, this dream was revived again at our planning meeting in July last year. We had a planning meeting with our team and some of our team, especially like, I mean, they're all great people in our clinic team, but Stephanie had this idea and she was like, hey, let's do this resource. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's my platform. That's my dream. One of my good friends, Jem, she was like, you need to get this on video. And then basically everybody started to come around and really start to remind us that we need to do this. And we got down to it and we just started to write the content, film the videos. And with that, we're so excited that we're going to be able to launch today Autism at Home. Woo! Which really, like, for all of our friends, Sarah, your friends that ask you, how do you help a child? Or your family members, or, you know, people outstation who can't get EAP services. This is going to be the platform that can help them. And so we actually intentionally hope that we can keep it free. It is absolutely free. You just have to subscribe to it. There are only 2 courses on it at the moment. Introduction to Autism, which is our material that we've had for a while. But we have a new course called the Starter Kit, and that's actually made up of 5 lessons, or 5 units. We're releasing the first unit today. The first unit is called Teaching Strategies. So the core strategies every family member needs to know, every therapist, anybody that works. You know, we get asked, how many times, Sarah, have you been asked, I'm a school teacher, I work with kids, you know, on the spectrum, can you help me? What, you can't count, right? You can't count. The number of families, the number of friends. So now that we have this, we can just share this with them and they know the secrets. This is like secrets of, I mean, they're like kind of like your grandmother's recipe almost, you know, you're kind of like, okay, these are the key strategies that have taken us hundreds of hours, I think thousands of hours, obviously, cumulative experience on our clinic team, 63 years of cumulative experience. And we have tried to really put it down into bite-sized pieces to make it as simple as possible for any parent to follow. So releases today, the teaching strategies is going to be really helpful. It is the foundational piece for anyone working with kids with autism. Then next week releases Managing Challenging Behaviors, which is on the 6th of April. And then on the 13th of April, we will release Setting Up Your Home, so that parents are able to just, okay, how do I make this work? And we're trying to actually rush it out because of the MCO period. So even more families really need the support at home right now because they need to be their own therapist, essentially. So I just wanted to say, like, I mean, that's really our plan for Autism at Home. Like I said, there's only 2 main courses, but the quality is pretty good. Like, we worked on it for many hours. Really big shout out to our team. We have an amazing team that I'm so grateful. Everyone on the clinic team, your names are there in the acknowledgements. And a big shout out especially to Stephanie, one who helped me develop the content and actually edit it. and write it up again and again and again. And of course, to you, Sarah Wu, who was up till 3 in the morning making the final touches. No one would guess that from how upbeat you look right now and how joyful you are.
The makeup and the caffeine.
But we have an amazing, committed, dedicated team at EAP. So grateful for that. Couple of other shout outs, of course, is that all of our expertise and material, we have to give credit and honor to our parent company, Wisconsin Early Project. We've highlighted their names there, from Dr. Sallows and Dr. Groutner. This morning I woke up, and every morning I do try to just thank God for the day and ask him to bless our day. And I really thank God for them this morning, thanking them for their heart to be willing to start in Malaysia years ago, in 2006, be willing to invest into our country, Malaysia. And then their whole team has traveled to Malaysia twice a year. The whole Wisconsin team, our BCBA support. That is why we know what to do. So we don't ever think it's us. We know that we're supported by this amazing powerhouse company, Wisconsin Early Autism Project. And of course, our whole team at EAP, the clinic team, Charmaine, Rachel, Sarah, yourself, Michelle, Emma, Yu Chen, Jolene, Jean, Evie, Stephanie, and also we've got our backing of AV and Alice. We have an amazing clinic team. And last but not least are the funders. Now, I just really want to shout out to the clients who have helped us on this. The biggest advocates have been our own clients. We've got multiple parents, like Judd's parents, who had a whole fundraiser. We've got Darwin's family as well, who really donated. We've got Muhammad's mom. Like, we've got so many different families that have really helped. And I know because of confidentiality, I can't say full names and all of that. But we just really want to acknowledge you and thank you because of your contributions, because of your raising awareness. Nancy Martinez, who's no longer in Malaysia, but really all these families that have gone all out to raise awareness, to share awareness. And even this year, one of our own kids raised 6,000 ringgit for the whole project by swimming 400 kilometers, like doing what was it called? Aquathlon, so swimming, all of that, and raising that money so that we can help more families. So we are nothing without the whole team working together, and all these people have contributed so much. We just acknowledge them, appreciate them, and this Autism at Home online resource platform is dedicated to the kids that we work with that have taught us everything we know. We can go to school. I went to school for 6 years in psychology. You went to school for many years as well. We have 63 years of experience, but without our kids, we learn nothing. So they have taught us everything, and just really appreciate and acknowledge them. So that's a very long answer to your question.
No, that's good. I think it explains so much about what we're doing with Autism at Home, and the heart behind it and our intention behind it. And guys, for those of y'all who are tuning in now, or you're gonna watch this video later on, go and jump on it. The website is autismathome.co. I think I see in the comments some people are typing it as well, autismathome.co. And when you get onto that site, just click on the Get Started button. You just maybe need to create a simple account, very easy registration process. And once you're in, you can access all the content and the videos. And we really believe and really hope that, it would really empower all the families and the people out there to really be able to apply really effective ABA strategies with their children and individuals with autism in the home. I think at the end of the day, that's really what we want to do. We want to be able to bring our services right to your home, right to your doorstep, accessible for everyone wherever you are. So autismathome.co. Thank you guys for putting that in the comments. Much appreciated. So we've got a couple of moments left, and I was just thinking, Joe, earlier you mentioned a little bit about the Hope Project, and I was just thinking maybe for those who don't know, are not very attuned, because there's so many things, right? We talked about EAP, we talked about the Hope Project a bit, we talked about Autism at Home. Maybe you can just recap to everyone again the Hope Project, what it is.
Yeah, sure thing. So I am trying to remember whether I've said it already here or whether it was in the staff briefing earlier. But essentially, years ago when we did when I graduated, and you know, my dad is Denison Jayasuriya, and my whole life growing up, we've been to, like, you know, he's just really encouraged us. He and my mom really encouraged us as kids to always look out for somebody else. So I know I've shared this story with the press before, but like, you know, like at 4 years old, I would go to an orphanage because I didn't have a sister yet. She was born only 6 years later. I did my first fundraiser with my mom to raise money for people in Ethiopia. And then like 9 years old, I did my first sort of like maybe mission trip. I went to Bethany Home and lived there for a week. So my parents, like, we went to England and he had to study there for 10 months. But he insisted that when we come back, I was only 7 years old at that time. When we came back to Malaysia, we have to go to India first, because he didn't want me to grow up, but to come back to Malaysia, complaining about Malaysia, complaining about what we have here. He never wanted us to be entitled. He wanted us to always look after somebody else. And you know, my parents, I mean, to honor them as well, we had really little growing up. My dad's salary was like 400 ringgit. We had so little. We grew up in Sentul because that's all, like, we grew up in a low-cost flat. Like, we really were in some sort of, like, I guess, we were not in poverty, but we were definitely not affluent. We were definitely low income at that time when I was growing up. Yet to think of my parents being able to still give to other people and encourage us to always be outward focused and to take care of other people is really quite remarkable. And I think it's the reason why I am like this. My sister works for Water for Africa. Like, we're all like this. My brother as well. Like, we all like have this kind of passion to help people who are disadvantaged, people who just, you know, need help. And so when I graduated in Australia, my dad actually said, come back to Malaysia and help people here. Like, actually come back and do something here. So at that time, I was also doing my master's. I had the option of, okay, let's start another charity or another nonprofit, which was my experience growing up and following my dad. Amazing heart, amazing people like Malaysian Care, Cheshire Home, Bethany Home, all the different amazing people that have gone before us and really helped people with autism. But the thing that I always wanted myself is that we would have the resource to be able to provide the quality services. And that was where the sort of like tension that I had when I was younger, and this is like 18 years ago, to decide, do we want to start a charity model, a non-profit model, or do I want to join EAP and learn the best of the skills from them? So at that time, I made the decision that I want it to be a high quality, like really providing quality treatment and quality service. And obviously that meant joining a private organization where the fees were expensive, but where we then had the resource to be able to pay staff, hire good staff and pay them. We had the resource to be able to have the staff ratios that we have. We have the resource to provide ongoing training. So we do a lot of training. In fact, during this MCO period, we've brought forward all our training to do it online so that our teams can be equipped and make sure that they're ready as well. But internally, I never felt at peace because I always want to help more people. And that's not just me, I speak on behalf of our whole team, our clinic team especially. And so then at our 10-year anniversary, finally, we decided, okay, let's launch the Hope Project. And that is really our non-profit initiative of EAP. We partnered with a foundation, so all the funds go into that foundation and for any payments and purchases, so there's accountability. And what EAP then does is essentially give of our resource and our time and our knowledge for free. So that's the part where we are trying to operate like a social entrepreneurship, although it's not officially a social entrepreneurship, where we are paid by EAP and our salaries come from EAP, and that's our full-time job. But part of our time, we actually give away to the nonprofit of the Hope Project. And so the Hope Project's tagline is to make world-class services accessible to all. And we do that through our campaigns. So we raise lots of awareness through school campaigns. So it's CSR, campaign, services, and resources. So campaigns is our schools and our social media. Services is all of our scholarships that we've done. I think we've provided in 3 scholarships so far. We've done lots of non-profit support for centers, non-profit centers. And that's our biggest project this year as well. We'll be supporting another 5 PDK. So Prajaya Precinct 9, woo, woo. I can see some of you guys here. They, by the way, are amazing. I mean, they're their manager Panswana and her team, they are so like, they have taken all the skills that Yu Chen, our team, our very own supervisor, translated all our resources into Malay, and she went there every week to train them, to teach them how to use these skills. That's our services. And then thirdly is our resources. So we provide online resources like the Autism at Home. So whatever funding that the whole project receives, it is to support that. It is to support all these movements. In fact, PDK is totally like, they don't have to pay anything. We pay everything ourselves, including our own transport there. But of course, they're very generous. They always like cook meals and all of that, which we always say, please don't worry about that. But essentially, that's the whole project. So it's it's really a part of who we are at EAP. It is our heart and our culture to reach more people. And I think our entire team is on the same page. So hopefully something like a social entrepreneurship, which has been a dream all my life.
Yeah, so good. Well, thank you so much for sharing your inspirational story, Jo. I think I'm not the only one that's inspired. Just looking through the comments, I think as you were sharing your story growing up and what impacted you, I noticed a lot of people also just liking it, you know, commenting and sharing how inspirational it was, you know. So thank you for pouring your heart out into not just EAP, but into the whole project, into Autism at Home as well, and to all the future things that, you know, EAP and the whole project will be doing as well. So we're gonna, in closing, a couple of moments, we're gonna just, you know, wrap it up. I guess, you know, for all the people tuning in, Jo, what would be, maybe what would be 3 takeaways or 3 important points and important things we want people to really take away and really remember on this day or in this season?
Yeah, I think if we're talking to general community, so all the people that are here and all the people that maybe don't have a child with special needs or with autism, you're just a person, you know, that has a heart for people with special needs. I would just say, like, the first thing would be just increase your own awareness. Like, make sure that you know real facts about autism. I'm always amazed when we go to Australia, like how many of the very young children, they can articulate to you more accurately what autism is than adults in Malaysia. Like, they can tell you, like, I've met a 9-year-old girl who says, oh, I have a friend in my class with autism. Or I've met an 18-year-old who says, isn't autism about, you know, these challenges that they face, and can't they catch up? So they actually are able to articulate clear facts. So I would say the first thing would be get real facts and increase your awareness. The second would be, please demonstrate acceptance. And this, I think, is not just to kids with autism. Anyone anyone that might be poorer than you, that might look different from you, that might be of a different race. I mean, like, you know, just be more accepting. In my daughter's school right now, there are people who have leg impairments or who have visual impairments. And her school is amazing because they actually encourage kids to be accepting of other people and show kindness. So I think that would be the second thing. So first, increase your own awareness. Second, demonstrate your own acceptance. And third, do your part. The easiest thing with social media is all you got to do is like and share, repost. Just do your part to support somebody on the spectrum. And if you know someone else who has a child with autism, send them some love today. Like them, encourage them, show them some sort of, like, you know, just like that you're with them and that you've got their back. I think that would be for everybody. Then like, I would say just one last thing to all parents who have young children. I would say it's so important that we track milestones. I have got a 5-year-old daughter and a 1-year, 3-month-old son, and they progress and develop differently. But I monitor and track their developmental milestones every month because I want to make sure they are on track with their eye contact, with their speech, with their interaction, with their engagement. Because the earlier you can pick up if something is not right, the quicker you can do something about it. So I would say just make sure that you track milestones. The second thing would be, if you notice anything at all that is a little bit different, seek help. We have worked with so many parents where they had to fight to get a diagnosis because the people around them said, don't worry, don't worry, don't worry. But their child was already like 2 + 3, not talking, not engaging, not interacting. And the mom till today says, I thank God I still pushed for a diagnosis because with intensive treatment, that same child has caught up perfectly in the last 2 years and is in normal school now.
Wow.
Imagine if that child, the mom had said, okay, fine, just forget about it. She'll be okay or something. Imagine the delays and the deficits that would be there now at 5, 6 years old. So that's where I would really encourage you. Number one, track milestones, get the right treatment. It's not about a label. Don't think about the label and the stigma. Think about what you need to do for your child. That is the big, like, make sure that, like I said, like my own stories, my son, who's 1 year, 3 months, his feet were not really like straightening. Immediately we saw an orthopedic, because if there's going to be something wrong with his ability, I was so worried he won't walk. And we went to the orthopedic. We were like, do we need to get shoes? Do we need to get massages done? Because I wasn't sure what's happening to his feet. And they said, oh, it's just a kind of hormone that sometimes happens during pregnancy. Just let him walk barefoot as much as you can and it will straighten out. But it is important to don't be afraid and get the diagnosis, find out what's wrong so that you can provide the treatment necessary. And then lastly would be parents. I know this is hard, especially in MCO. I'm so guilty of it myself, but look out for how much screen time they get. Screen time is just not good, especially when they are younger than 18 months. It impacts their ability to attend and focus. It impacts their ability to hear sound properly. They'll keep hearing all the buzzing sound. Then it impacts their eye contact. I'm not saying it causes autism, okay? Screen time does not cause autism. But autism has been linked to genetic causes. And if a child is born and has some kind of genetic inclination of autism, whatever that gene is like, the screen time and excessive screen time will only make it worse. So that will only make it more, it will impact it more. So it's the opposite of early intervention. It is like gonna create a regression, and it is really difficult. Not to mention the addiction to screen time, not to like visual, how it affects your eyes as well. So I would just to all parents, track milestones, seek help if you're worried on the treatment, and thirdly, monitor screen time, please. And all community, please share that as well with your nieces, nephews, aunties, uncles. If you don't have kids yourself, share that with somebody else.
Okay. So I think that's almost pretty much it for today. We're gonna end soon. I think thank you so much for your time, Joe. Just again, shout out to everybody just who are tuning in to us right now and still with us, who have joined us for the past hour. We really appreciate you. I'm trying my best to do this hard. Really appreciate you. So again, in closing, here's what we can all do today for World Autism Awareness Day, as well as throughout the month of April, which is World Autism Month. We can wear something blue. Any shade of blue would do. You can always follow EAP Malaysia on Instagram and Facebook to stay updated on different things that we will be posting and releasing. Do follow EAP Malaysia's YouTube channel as well and subscribe to it so you can stay updated whenever we release new videos, new resources, and new content that will really help you. And of course, get onto autismathome.co today, and go and register for an account, and you can go and access all the content for free, guys. This is for free, and you can even get the training, get equipped. What a great platform and what a great initiative behind it. And then I think last but not least, now that everybody is kind of at home in quarantine, get on social media, to spread the awareness. If you think about it, traditionally awareness, we would have to have gone out to schools and do presentations. Now we can spread the awareness through just the use of our thumbs. We can sit comfortably on our couches, in our chair, on our bed. All we have to do is just exercise our thumb, to spread the awareness and get the word out about autism. So really, in closing, we just really want to thank all our partners who have sponsored us, whether directly or indirectly, and to Boost as well. I think if you go onto the Boost app, currently they have a mission where you can get on that mission, and then all proceeds will go to the Hope Project. We also just want to shout out to our amazing EAP team who, love on our kiddos so much daily and are supporting everything that we're doing. And thank you for tuning in as well. And just your overall heart really for what you do. We really appreciate, I'm struggling to appreciate each and every single one of you and your efforts. We cannot do this without each and every one of you. We EAP is what it is because of all of you. And just a shout out as well to all our kiddos and especially to all our families who are tuning in right now as well and watching this video. You guys have taught us everything we know about autism. You guys, you guys are the reason we are doing what we're doing, and with all the achievements that we see, not just in the kids, but in the families and the changes we see on a whole as well, really just inspires us to continue doing what we do, So thank you again, everyone, for tuning in. Thank you, Joe, for your time, and thank you for sharing all your insights and your expertise and for all you do. So yeah, have a great Autism Awareness Day, guys. Spread the love, spread the awareness, spread the acceptance. Don't forget to hashtag love someone with autism, tag EAP Malaysia, get onto our website autismathome.co, and stay tuned for more updates. We will be releasing a ton of content over the next couple of days, so stay updated on our social media to find out more. All right, thank you, everyone. Oh, sorry. Yes, Joe.
One more quick thing, Sarah, is maybe if anybody wants us to come on Insta Live more regularly, especially during this MCO period, all of us are working from home. We can actually, if you've actually already subscribed to the website and you've watched the material, we're hoping that we could take some questions and actually help parents along, so that you could either come onto the Insta Live and ask questions, and then we'll try and answer those questions as well. So that could be something additionally that I think Sarah and the media team, Lee, will actually put a poll in our Insta story, so you can actually vote there as well for that if you want Insta Live, whether it's daily or weekly or whatever it is. So Q&A time.
All right.
Thanks, Sarah. Okay. Thank you so much.
Thanks everyone.
Happy Wild
Day. Bye.
Bye.